Welcome back to Thinking Critical. As always, this is Wes, and I hope you all are doing well today. We're going to do a quick review of Firefly number 3. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Firefly series that got canceled by Fox way too early. Also a huge fan of the sequel movie Serenity. And I've liked quite a few of the Firefly Serenity series comic books so far. I really like the Shepherd story and some of the earlier ones. The last Firefly Serenity story I read I think it was called No Power in the Verse, and it was complete dog shit. Don't read that one. That one was bad. But this new series, headed up by Greg Pak's, been really good so far. First issue number 1, I would give like a 5 out of 5. Issue 2, like a 3.5 out of 5. Wasn't quite as good, but this one here is also excellent. Much closer to the first issue than the second, as far as quality, in my opinion. So the cover here is by Lee Garbett. It's fine. It fits the tone of the other covers in the series, what I've always found kind of boring, to be completely honest. So like I said, Greg Pak is the lead writer. Dan McDaid and Marcelo Costa are the artists. So for the most part, the art in this book is pretty good. So there are a couple of issues with the art in this book. One of them is the character design I think is bad, and then there's actually just some really bad art. And I'll point that out specifically when we get there. So to catch you up, the crew of the Serenity have crash landed on Bethlehem. Their ship is inoperable and they need parts, so they have taken up a job escorting some pilgrims to a holy site. Very typical of the Firefly Serenity storylines. It fits the tone of the way the TV series was written and how the stories always played out. So I like that a lot. So opening up here, the Unificators are chasing down the crew. They're looking for Mal and Zoe, saying that they're war criminals. And they finally caught up with the crew, but Zoe and Mal have actually already escaped. And you see the head henchman of the Unificators is trying to track him down, sees Zoe and Mal taking a run for it, and jumps on her speeder and takes off after him. Catches up to him, takes him down, and then she realizes that's not Zoe, that's actually River Tam, and that's not Mal, that's actually her brother Simon. So this is my first real issue with the art. River's face here is all distorted. She almost looks like the Elephant Man or something. Her face is actually drawn really weird every time it's in this issue, but specifically in that top right panel, it's really bad. She doesn't really look human, to be honest. So they're interrogating River and Simon, and as you can see, her face is still jacked up. And this is the other part that I have, or the other piece of art that I have a problem with. The character design on this lead Unificator, she almost looks like RoboCop without the visor on. It's really stupid. It's jarring for this series. It doesn't fit in with the universe that's been created, in my opinion. And we catch up with Mal and Zoe, and Kaylee's with them as well, as they're walking through town looking for something. I guess they're going to steal this truck. And at that time, Zoe and Wash are having a conversation. Earlier, I believe in issue 1, they both shot each other in the leg, which is kind of stupid. But if you watch the show or the movie, you could actually see the two of them doing that to each other. That's another thing that I'll point out. The show was really funny, and this comic book is not. There's almost no good jokes in this at all, which that's one of the only issues I have with the writing. Like I said, the characters are all written well. Greg Pak seems to have the characters down pat in the way that they would speak to each other and what roles they have, but there's just nothing really funny about this book so far. And here they're witnessing a little shakedown by the Chang Benitez gang. Kaylee thinks that they should help out the settlers against the gang. Mal says no, because they're going to steal this truck. And all of a sudden the Unificators show up. They're finding their weapons in town. And the lead henchman finally sees him and starts screaming Malcolm Reynolds as they're trying to get out. And in a turn of events, the Unificators actually stop chasing Mal. They turn around, they start helping the town folk. And at this point, Mal says, "Circle back." And everyone's like, "What?" So they circle the rig back. They go into town. He jumps on the lead Unificator and holds her at gunpoint and takes her hostage. As they're heading out of town, you can see Kaylee's having a weird crisis of conscience. She's saying, well, the Unificators seem like the good guys. And the lead Unificator, she's explaining that Mal and Zoe are war criminals. And they're having a little to-do about the war. And this is the last page I'm going to show. And here they finally explain who she is. And she explains that, I guess that justifies you bombing a hospital and killing 13 doctors and nurses and 134 wounded soldiers. As you can see, she used to be a nurse. She was in that hospital. And he blew it up. He claims it was a mistake. They're doing like a weird storyline where are Mal and Zoe really war criminals? They've always been morally ambiguous in my mind. So I've always assumed that while they were in the war, they did some pretty heinous stuff. But I imagine we're going to get more information in the future episodes. There's actually a pretty good twist here at the end with the other part of the team. I would highly suggest checking this out. This is a highly recommend. So I'll give the art like a 3.5 out of 5. Couple little things I didn't like. They really messed up River Tam's face. I didn't like the design of the lead henchwoman at all. Characters, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. It was all really spot on, really well done. The only thing that's missing really is any type of humor. And as far as the plot goes, 4.5 out of 5. Well done, really good execution. The story is definitely moving along. You're getting more information. They're moving towards an end game. So overall, I'll give this a 4.5 out of 5, almost the highest recommendation I can give. There's a couple little things with the art that are holding it back, but this is really solid. This is a great series. If you like Firefly, if you like Serenity, you should definitely be reading this. This is the best comic book adaptation I've seen of the universe. I really like it a lot. And if you're a fan, I think you'll like it as well. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think this is better than I said? Do you think it's worse than I said? Am I spot on? I would like to hear your thoughts. You can always follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. Talk about comics. I normally post 2 or 3 things about comics at least a day. Although I live in Asia, so the times when I'm on and posting might be a little bit off, especially for people in the Western Hemisphere. If you liked the video, give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel for more reviews and commentary about comic books and movies. Ring the bell for future notifications. And with that, Salamat po, and I'm out.